to left field. Will it go? Yes, it does. A 3-run shot by Chris Lanzilli. Arkansas has come to life here late in the night.
And Lanzilli hammers this to left field. You may not have to see it. Bello has no idea. It wouldn't matter. That ball is long gone. Home run, Lanzilli.
This is the Morning Rush, and it's time for the opening drive.
All right, Chris, a lot of pressure being a part of the opening drive, so I hope you bring it like you did in the 2022 season. All right, so you're in Baum this past weekend. You have an interesting perspective, being that you went all the way to the College World Series, but you didn't get to play postseason in Baum. Like you did at Wake, you did in that stadium, but 2022, you guys had to go to Stillwater. Then y'all went to Chapel Hill. What was it like as a fan and as a former player taking it all in this weekend?
I mean, it was a totally different perspective. I had always wanted to have that perspective. I mean, I obviously was playing past couple of years after my Arkansas career, so I didn't have the opportunity to make any of the games. But, you know, I had an incredible experience there, joined some tailgates. Got to know some people, you know, just did the whole thing and had like the best time and totally different perspective out there. Now, would I trade it for being on the field? I don't know about that, but they're both awesome experiences.
That's a former Hog that's talking right there. Told me you could tell he's watching this like, man, I wish I had one more year to play out there. All right, see, you mentioned meeting some people. You met a former Razorback in Dominic Ficacello. You hung out with Coach Calipari. Yeah. Who else did you meet this weekend?
Well, the guy that kind of made it all happen, this man, he was a fan. He met my brother when I was playing there. His name's Dennis Metters. Tailgated with his whole family, got to know his whole family, just a diehard fan since the mid-'90s. And, you know, one of those guys that's setting up his tailgate, slept there in a sleeping bag to prepare. I don't know how he made the brisket overnight, did this and that, and just like one of those guys that's worried about other people having a good time and you know, putting in the effort to make sure they do so. So, I mean, I really appreciate that family. They're such great people. You know, another family that I met, Joyce and Taylor Brown, they helped me get in the stadium, so I have to shout them out as well. Just some great people. On top of that, met probably hundreds, if not 1,000 other people that were fans and were singing my walkout song to me and stuff like that, just making me feel special. And you know, I think I spent a little too much money buying these people beers, but I don't regret it.
Now, what are they, $12? Now, Chris, at least you could buy them.
I didn't even check. Just put the card up.
I love it. What was the best thing that Dennis and his family whipped up for you last week? And you kind of got me intrigued there. What's the best thing you had, the brisket?
So, yeah, the first night he had ribs and, you know, beans and the whole barbecue thing. And then the next night he did the brisket and a similar thing. And then, you know, I just did my best to contribute, you know, a little bit of fruit, a little bit of beers. That's about all I could do. But, I mean, he did an amazing job there, and I couldn't appreciate that more.
I love it. Now, Chris Lanzilli is with us, former Razorback and Demon Deacon here on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline in our opening dive. Chris, funny enough, my co-host and boss is currently in Massachusetts. You're a Massachusetts guy, correct? I know Winston-Salem is a little closer to Mass, but what was that experience like going from Massachusetts to Winston-Salem now to Fayetteville, Arkansas in your college career?
Yeah, well, I mean, Winston-Salem's still a 12-hour drive, so it's half as far as Arkansas. But I mean, going to Winston-Salem, I knew some kids that were already going there. My roommate and one of my best friends growing up was this kid Jared Schuster. He's a pitcher for the White Sox now. He actually committed right after me, and so we were going to be roommates. There's a few kids before me from Mass, so Wake Forest was no problem. It was not like a culture shock or anything. Going to Arkansas, I never really thought of Arkansas before. Like I never really knew anything about it, so didn't really just kind of assumed there was a bunch of fields and not much going on there, if I'm being honest. But then, you know, kind of looked into the baseball tradition, heard about Northwest Arkansas, and visited there overnight with I was playing in the Cape League, and I visited there overnight with my, literally a 20-hour trip with my mom. Of course, Matt Hobbs brought me over to tour it, and just absolutely was like, this is not real. This place is unbelievable. So it changed my mind. It changed my perspective on Arkansas, because I was a little bit ignorant before. I think that's what a lot of people in the Boston area are like, because you're Alabama, Missouri, Mississippi. Not Missouri, they're more Midwest. Yeah. Alabama, Mississippi, Arkansas. I mean, states down there you don't really know much about. But I absolutely I would move down to Northwest Arkansas for sure. I love that place. Yeah. I love the people. I love the places. Lots to do. Baseball, this, that. It's amazing.
So where are you at now, Chris?
I'm just north of Boston in Woburn, Mass. So I grew up 9 minutes from here, and my parents are, obviously down the road 9 minutes from here. So I have a dog, but they love the dog, so I can't go anywhere right now. They have to take him part-time because they love him so much. So I'm sticking in the area for the next year or so.
Okay. Well, I mentioned co-host Tommy being in Boston. He went to Fenway on Monday. What's a place, a bar, a restaurant that he has to go to, Chris, before he leaves Boston on Friday?
I think you're probably just what everybody says. Go to the North End and get a nice meal. I like my favorite place is Trattoria Panino. All the places on Hanover Street in the North End will do the job. Depending on whether you want Italian or seafood, they'll take care of you both ways.
Let's go. Chris Lanzilli, former Razorback, here with us on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. Chris, you mentioned Matt Hobbs, and I think you guys overlapped 1 year at Wake Forest your freshman year, and mentioned him kind of bringing you in, showing you around. You had a highly successful season with Arkansas in 1 year as a grad transfer. You hit over 300. You had a successful run in the postseason. I wonder, as you look at all these guys on Arkansas's roster, all the transfers, all the success that Nate Thompson has had with these hitters, what have you thought about just the overall transfer portal haul that DBH and the rest of the staff got this year?
Yeah, I think just building the program to what it is kind of makes it a no-brainer for transfers. So I think that's the job that the coaches did was just the whole preparation and building the program into this powerhouse. And also, the fan base has got to take a lot of the credit too, because people want to go play in front of a fan base. There's probably a handful of schools that have like a decent sized fan base in baseball, and that is a big part of why I wanted to transfer to a school like that, and why why a lot of the other top transfers are looking to transfer to Arkansas, or I hate to mention it, but Mississippi State or LSU, big schools like that have big baseball fan bases. But the Arkansas fan base does a great job at welcoming people. They're super friendly, and they're not too hard on the players. So that's a big thing for it. I think it's an easy decision coming to Northwest Arkansas once you see it.
You mentioned Mississippi school. I think it's crazy. I wish you got to experience the Texas rivalry because that's the oldest rivalry for Arkansas. They came in this year number 1 in the country. Arkansas just pounded them in 3 games. When you were there in that 1 year, was there a series or a team that was put above the other and it's like, hey, we got to beat these guys this weekend?
We swept LSU that year. I think they were a pretty good team that year. I don't think we said we got to beat this team ever. I think it was just like, you show up, DBH wants to win every game. He's one of the most competitive dudes out there. So I think he instills in his players, like, you got to go out and compete every game. And I think that's what drives a lot of the success.
You mentioned Dave Van Horn there. Chris, I wonder, and I know you didn't spend the majority of your career with them, but in 1 year, what did you pick up from a coach-to-player relationship tendencies? I know fielding is often stressed. They're like number 1, number 2 in fielding this year. You only had 1 error the entire season. What other attributes were stressed under Dave Van Horn by him and here in Arkansas?
Yeah, well, when I was at Wake, I probably had a few more errors because I was kind of, I don't want to say a swear word on air, but I was kind of a moron in the field sometimes, just trying to do too much. I remember at Clemson, I was trying to be a hero. This happened twice in the game. A guy was rounding first base, and I was in left field, and tried to backpick him at first base just because we were allowed to do anything at Wake, really. And that ball went into their dugout. Kid ended up at second or third. That happened again that game, and when a kid was rounding second base, overthrew the ball there. Anyways, onto the DVH point. I mean, he doesn't allow that stuff to happen in his program, and I think that's why he stresses the fundamentals. We're going to be a good fielding team. We're not going to make errors, and he puts the guys out there that are going to be solid enough to hold that word. So it's all in him, I think, and obviously picks talented players, of course, but he's not going to have somebody out there that's going to be fumbling the ball around. It's just not him. There's
an element of professionalism that we've watched over the years. You experienced. This team coming in this weekend, Chris, doesn't necessarily abide by those same rules. When you guys went up against OSU and Rock Origio, or you played Ole Miss, some of their antics, and Tennessee, I can't remember if you guys played them in 22 or not, but is that just an extra nuisance, annoyance when you go up against a team that maybe likes to showboat a little bit like some of those squads?
I mean, I think Tennessee has 9 of them, 9 Rock Origio, so I'm not sure how that would go, but playing against that kid specifically, Rock Origio, I mean, I just roll my eyes. Like, I just think it's like cringe. I think these kids are going to look back on their highlights and be like, "Dang, I did that in front of everybody." I think they're going to even cringe at themselves. Like I do the same thing. I remember I went crazy over getting hit by a pitch at Oklahoma State, and I'm like, "Dang, I could have just handled that a little bit." I didn't go that crazy. I wasn't saying "F you" to anybody, but I think these kids, don't realize the way it looks, and I like the fire in them. Even in the Tennessee team, I'll be unbiased with that. I like that they're so fiery. I like that they play hard, and I think DVH likes that too. But there's a level, like you said, a level of professionalism where you gotta handle yourself a little better than what those guys do, because the game will catch up on you. The game knows.
Hopefully it does this weekend. Chris, before we let you go, I want to go back to Chapel Hill, North Carolina. Brady hits that single, sends y'all to Omaha, the dog pile. Just kind of take us through what's that like as a player, the possibility of that happening this weekend for Arkansas, and then just kind of your experience in the Emerald City in Omaha back 3 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, it was luckily for us, we went into UNC. We kind of just knew we were going to take them down. It wasn't blowouts, but we knew we were going to handle them pretty good. Going to Omaha was just it's one of those things that you dream of as a kid, and I never thought I'd get the opportunity to do that, because we had really talented teams at Wake Forest, but we were just not disciplined enough. And in my year, we're going towards the end of the year, and we're losing series. We got hot at the right time, and I think that the good thing about this year is they're such a well-rounded team, and I'm not going to say anything specific, but to jinx them, but I think they're looking pretty hot right now. So I that's all I'm going to leave it at.
All right, we'll leave it there with you too. Chris Lanzilli, former Razorback, former Wake Forest Demon Deacon, giving us some time this morning. Chris, glad you enjoyed last weekend. If Arkansas makes it past weekend, hope to see you in Omaha, Nebraska next weekend. Hopefully watching some Arkansas baseball.
I appreciate it, guys. Thanks for having me on.
BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for all your sports betting action. With baseball season in full swing, BetOnline has more ways to stay in on the action with the latest odds, news, scores, and even live in-game betting while the games are being played. We keep the dog days of summer rolling with the largest selection of odds on everything. With updated odds on the MLB, UFC, and boxing to tennis and NFL futures, BetOnline remains the best online source for all your sports wagering information. In between games, head over to the BetOnline Casino with all the top Vegas-style games, including poker and live casino. BetOnline, the game starts here.